Brianna Kupfer was a bright and ambitious young woman whose life was tragically cut short in an act of senseless violence. Born on April the 9th, 1997, she was one of 4 children born to Todd and Lori Kupfer. Brianna was raised in Pacific Palisades, a neighborhood in Los Angeles, California, where she had a fulfilling childhood and excelled in both academics and extracurricular activities. She attended Brentwood High School, where she was an active member of various sports teams, served as the captain of the cheerleading team, and participated in multiple student organizations. Her drive and dedication led her to the University of Miami, where she graduated in 2019 with a degree in public relations. Continuing her academic journey, she enrolled in a graduate program at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, to study architectural design. In addition to her studies, Brianna worked as a consultant at Croft House, a luxury furniture store in the Hancock Park area of Los Angeles. Her father said of his daughter, quote, "She was a kind soul and always trying to make herself better and everything around her better. She cared about people." On the afternoon of January the 13th, 2022, 24-year-old Brianna was working alone at Croft House when she encountered a man who would ultimately take her life. Tragically, she wasn't even meant to be working that specific day, according to her father. The assailant, a homeless man, entered the store and raised immediate concerns for Brianna. At approximately 1:36 p.m, she texted a friend expressing that she was getting, quote, "bad vibes" from the man. Unfortunately, her intuition, her gut instinct, was tragically accurate. Just minutes later, at around 1:50 p.m, the man launched a frenzied and brutal attack, stabbing Brianna 46 times. The autopsy later revealed that 26 of the wounds were deep stab wounds, while 20 were incisions. Approximately 20 minutes after the attack, a customer entered the store and found Brianna's lifeless body covered in blood. Sadly, by the time responders got there, Brianna was already deceased. The Los Angeles Police Department described the incident as a, quote, "random act of violence." A bent knife was recovered from the scene, and forensic analysis later confirmed the homeless man's DNA was present on the weapon. Surveillance footage captured the man leaving the store through the back door, and additional video evidence showed him shopping at a nearby 7-Eleven just 30 minutes after the killing, where he purchased a disposable vape pen. This was approximately 4 miles away from the crime scene. His demeanour seemed calm, according to the cashier, and he didn't appear in any hurry to leave the store. The search for the homeless man became one of the most high-profile manhunts in Southern California. Authorities released surveillance footage of him to the media, and the Los Angeles City Council initially offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to the man's arrest. Brianna's family and private donors later increased the reward to $250,000. Flyers with the perpetrator's photo were distributed widely, urging the public to report any sightings. He was described as an African-American male, standing between 6 feet and 6'5" tall, with a thin build and short dreadlocks. He had been seen wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt, a pair of dark trousers, a pair of black tennis shoes, mirrored sunglasses, a white dust mask, and was in possession of a backpack. As the reward in apprehending the unidentified man was announced, local councilman Paul Cottrese said, quote, "We will find this vicious criminal, we will get him arrested, and we will prosecute to the fullest extent of the law." After nearly a week on the run, the man was found and apprehended on January the 19th, 2022, in Pasadena, California. He was charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances and the use of a deadly weapon. His bail was subsequently set at $2 million. Sean Laval Smith, born on May 13th, 1990, was identified as the perpetrator and was 31 years old at the time of the crime. He had a lengthy and troubling criminal record, spanning both South Carolina and California. Prior to murdering Brianna, Smith had been released on bond while awaiting trial in South Carolina for firing a flare gun at a vehicle which contained a child. His history of criminal activity included multiple arrests and convictions, including assaulting a police officer, vandalism, drug possession, and firearm-related offences. Despite his violent past, he remained free to commit further crimes, ultimately culminating in Brianna's tragic demise. Smith initially attempted to represent himself in court, but due to misconduct, Judge Mildred Escobedo revoked his right to self-representation. Defense attorney Robert Haberer was appointed to represent him. The trial began on August 29th of 2024 in the Los Angeles County Superior Court, with Deputy Attorney Habib Balian leading the prosecution. During the proceedings, the prosecution presented audio recordings in which Smith expressed a deep hatred towards women, reinforcing the theory that Brianna's murder was a premeditated act of misogynistic violence. Smith and Brianna were not known to one another, and the prosecution believed he hunted the area to find a woman who was alone to prey on, and in doing so, found Brianna working alone at the luxury furniture store. CCTV showed Smith's movements throughout that afternoon, in which he travelled to various areas throughout the neighbourhood looking for a victim. Witnesses also testified that Smith had a history of making violent threats and attacking strangers without provocation. The defence chose not to present an opening statement at the trial. On September the 10th of 2024, the jury found Smith guilty of all charges, including first-degree murder with special circumstances and the use of a deadly weapon. The following month, in October of 2024, Smith was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The case, widely covered by national news outlets and heavily discussed on social media, became a symbol of the need for stronger policies regarding repeat offenders and public safety. Brianna's murder shook the Los Angeles community and beyond, sparking conversations about crime, public safety, and justice. To honour her memory, Croft House, the location of her tragic murder, became a site for a heartfelt memorial, with flowers, pictures, and handwritten messages left by mourners. A number of vigils were also held in her memory. In response to the tragedy, Brianna's family established the Brianna Kupfer Foundation, a non-profit organisation dedicated to fighting violence against women and supporting victims of violent crimes. In media interviews, Brianna's parents have spoken out about the failures of the justice system that allowed Smith to remain free despite his extensive criminal record. They have since advocated for changes in policies regarding bail reform and mental health interventions for violent offenders. They also looked to politicians to reform how they deal with spikes in violent crime, especially given the rise in the previous year's homicide rates, which had been over 50% in Los Angeles alone, and almost 60% for gun violence incidents. Brianna's friends spoke to CBS regarding her loss, saying, quote, "The world has been robbed of a productive member of society who glowed with positivity." The co-owner of the shop where she worked also spoke of Brianna's death, saying, quote, "She was mature beyond her years. I'm absolutely devastated for her and her family. It just seems so disgusting and unexpected. Really, there are no words to say how shocked we are to lose such a wonderful person." Todd Kupfer, Brianna's father, said he wanted his daughter to be remembered as, quote, "a person, a human being, and a caring, loving, and devoted family member, and a great friend, and just a rising star." Brianna's life was one of promise, intelligence, and kindness, making her untimely death all the more devastating. Her story remains a poignant reminder of the impact of violent crime and the importance of justice for victims. The foundation in her name continues to advocate for meaningful change, ensuring that her legacy lives on through efforts to make the world a safer place for women and vulnerable individuals. Though Brianna's life was unfairly taken, her memory continues to inspire action, compassion, and a commitment to justice.